All right. So yesterday we were talking about food chains and food webs. And we were looking at how energy travels through all those food chains and food webs. And so on your paper right now, I want you to draw a triangle and call it energy pyramid. Make it a big triangle. Yes, sir. Don't do that. So big triangle, call it energy pyramid. Once you have that triangle created, make 3 levels into it. Just like this. So call it energy pyramid. We have 3 levels in our triangle now. Thumbs up if you're ready to move on. 5th period, I hope you're ready. The 2nd period is. All right, here we go. Go ahead. Yesterday on your food chain stuff, an example you might have seen is kind of like 2 or 3 animals in a line, right? We had one circle, a line, another circle, and a line, and it might have went on a couple. My example up front was we had basically plant, deer, and wolf. We had 3 levels to it. And so just like we have different levels in a food chain, an energy pyramid is going to show different levels of what?
Energy.
Of energy. So let's talk about what energy means. If you were with me yesterday for our mini lesson up front, I talked a little bit about this, but the video did not talk about that yesterday. And so an energy is like if you're around lunchtime yesterday, I was doing the mini lesson talking about energy, and I said, I really need some food right now to get some energy. Right? You ever like around lunchtime, you're dragging. You're like, oh, I'm starving to death right now. I need some food ASAP. And you eat, and what? And you feel better. You get more energy in yourself. And so where did that energy come from? The food, right? Okay? So, Sterling, can you put your book away, please? Thank you. So the food gave you energy for you to use. And so just like we get energy from our food, do you think deers and wolves and other animals out there get energy from their food? Yeah, that's a safe assumption there, okay? So each of these boxes is going to represent different levels of energy on the food, or on the energy pyramid, on a food chain. And so we're going to call the bottom one plants. So go ahead and write down plants on the bottom one here. What's an animal that eats plants? Elk. Good. That's from our Yellowstone National Park stuff we've been looking at. And so with that in mind, what do you think I might put for eating the elk? The wolf. There you go. So I have plants, elk, and wolf, 3 different levels. If I was to make a food chain out of that, I would have 3 circles with a line pointing from the plants to the elk, and a line pointing to the elk to the wolf. Remember, that line represents the amount of energy that is being used, okay? All right. So if each of these boxes represents energy, which one of these has the most energy? Tucker?
Plants.
The plants, right? It's the biggest box up here. Why do you think the plants have the most energy? Mr. Rucker was in here first period and he asked that question. I was like, that's a good question, Mr. Rucker. Why do you think that the plants have the most energy? Isabel?
When it rains or when it's sunny, it shines on the grass and the plants are
Mm-hmm. And so, can someone add on to her and answer the question of where do plants get most of their energy from? Ramon?
bugs.
Well, bugs are related to that, right? They use the plants, but what makes the plants grow? I'm sticking a few. That's you. What do you think? She said 2 things. She said water and the sun. Okay, remember on solar eclipse day, we saw 4% of the sun. Was it still pretty bright?
Yeah.
Yes. That energy is going to mainly go to the plants because plants require sunlight to make, or one of the things they need is sunlight to make their food. Remember, their food is that sugar that they make inside the plant that is used, okay? Yes. They also do provide oxygen, yes. Yes. Oh, we're going to get there in a second, okay? I'll go ahead and write it up here. We're going to talk about producers and all that here in a second. So, most of that energy is harnessed or used by the plants because they can use it. Now, if humans could use energy from the sun to make their food, it'd be great. I could be like, ooh, I want a hamburger right now. Boom, hamburger. Okay? If only. Okay, but it doesn't work like that. We have to eat the stuff that uses that energy from the sun. And so, as we go further up and down this food chain, the elk, where did the elk get the energy from? The plants. And then the wolf gets the energy from the because the plant's energy went to the elk. Therefore, there's a little bit of energy inside that elk, and then the elk's energy goes to the wolf. That also includes as part of the plant's energy, okay? So, as we go up and down this, we are looking at the amount of energy. Okay, so I'm just write energy here. Arrow going up and down that has the word energy on there. Okay? That's what's going on with that. We call these producers, okay? Anybody know why we call those producers for? Why do you think for? Create their own food. So the word produce is producer. We learned that word last week. Okay, these other two, what do you think these other two are going to be called then? Consumer. And so this is something we haven't done just yet. But these are actually called different levels of consumers. We have a first consumer, and then we have a second consumer. So go ahead and write that down for me, please. This is some new words that we have not gotten to yet, but we're going to. Yes. Ask your question loud so fifth period can hear you later. Uh-huh.
You could say that the elk eats plants with one, and then the wolf equals both those. Eats both those.
Perfect. All right. So if you think about it, the elk's going to eat what? Everybody says the plants. So that's like a first level. That's not what you were saying, right? Yeah. The second level to that is the wolf eating the elk. And so we have each of these different levels here are going to be called different things because wolf are really only going to eat elk. They're not going to come jump around and be munching on a carrot. Okay? The elk's not going to be munching on a wolf. It doesn't work like that. Okay? They're not made like that. And so we've got different levels here that we are working with. Okay? So this is what we're going to do today. Inside Schoology, yesterday we looked at a food chain, food web stuff, right? We were going through, dealing with all that. While we were doing that, staying closer so they can hear me. While they were doing that, you should have started, or you may not have started just yet, but we're looking for 10 animals and 5 plants. We have to get those written down. The first step today is to write down 10 animals, 5 plants. Once you do that, you have to go back and start figuring out, okay, how can I make my food web? And I'll come back and do a video for 5th period. I'll tell you all as well. We'll do an example food web to get us started, and we'll touch base there, okay? So the first part of class, we're finding out how many animals? 10. And how many plants? 5, okay? Is that a question for the class? Yeah.
So can you use that web, like, make it bigger?
Well, this is not a food web. This is an energy pyramid. Okay, right now, so don't start drawing right now. Don't start drawing your food web until you have your 10 animals and your 5 plants, okay?
So do we write down the 10 animals and the 5 plants in our notebook?
Yes, please. I would suggest you do all this in your notebook because you're going to be drawing and doing things like that. The Chromebook, I have it as an option, but most people don't really know how to do that as an option very easily, okay? Kimberly? Yes, if you want to do that, yeah, you can do that, okay? All right, Tucker. Then continue, okay? Through it. Pick up where you left off today. Finish period. I'll come back to you on the video here in a minute, right? Go.
Peace out.
That's a start. So right now we're going to write down your 10 animals, your 5 plants. Yeah, I see animals there, not plants. Hang on, let me pause the video.